Hey everyone, Thyworm here. Today I wanted to take you along on two key takeaways that I had after watching the entirety of ExileCon. The first takeaway has to do with all of the keynotes that were presented during ExileCon. I was very impressed with everything they showed, and I was very impressed with everything that, we get in the new Path of Exile. The fact there are even two separate games, quite a revelation, but I think it makes a lot of sense. But this video, more than anything and more than about the content, is mostly about, I think, the event as a whole, sort of how I experienced this and how I feel that not too many other developers are actually taking notes when it comes to events like these. I really got this idea that ExileCon was more than just about the game. I think first of all, by itself it is quite impressive that you can organize a convention based around a single game. BlizzCon is another example, but that's not around a single game. It's around a single company, and a huge company at that. And then, kind of makes sense. But ExileCon, just about Path of Exile, quite impressive. Flying everybody out to New Zealand, doing a convention in the convention center over there. And I think it shows the passion of this community that you get enough people to make this somewhat of a profitable venue. But more than that, I was impressed with how many sort of keynotes and other talks there were. It was not just showing the game, it was basically also showing everything around the game. And ExileCon really took the opportunity to let their own devs shine and let their own devs talk about the development of the game, whether it was sound design or monster design or boss design or whatever they are into. The devs got the opportunity to take the stage, talk about their game, and it's just something that we don't see very often. There was this guy, I don't know his name anymore because I'm doing this off the cuff basically, but there was this guy who was talking about rendering, and one of the things that he said was not related to the actual topic. He said that the devs from GGG are more than happy to share their own experiences and more than happy to sort of share how they developed the game. This guy in particular, he had a YouTube channel where he also showed all sorts of stuff, and the devs are really encouraged to share their knowledge with the world and not really keep it to themselves, which first of all is a super positive mindset. I think it shows a lot of trust from GGG to in their own devs that you trust them enough to allow them to basically put anything on the internet without vetting it or without checking it. They can just talk about their own passion, their own expertise, which is what also happened on stage, which makes me have a lot of faith in the game. I already have an awful lot of faith in Path of Exile. It is by far my favorite ARPG, but something like this I think really shows how much confidence they have in their own devs and how much they would like their devs to succeed, not only within the company but also outside of the company, and make a name for themselves. And I can relate to this on a personal level because I'm not a developer, but I am an IT architect, and I sometimes do quite specific niche things within architecture. For example, related to chatbots. And I've also been given room by my own company, like an enterprise in the Netherlands that I work for, to go out and go to conferences and talk about the things that we experienced and the developments we had using our own chatbots, which is a very similar thing. And it provides me with sort of an opportunity to show myself and show my expertise. But I think it also is a good opportunity for the actual company you work with, because it shows that they have confidence enough in you as a person and as their own employee to just go out, do your story, entertain the public a little bit if you can, try to add value to the overall community and not just to, in this case, my own enterprise. And I think that is true for GGG as well. They try to not only create an amazing video game, but they also try to add value to the overall ARPG community. And this is something that's quite unique. I don't really see any other company do this, especially not to this extent. And it makes me appreciate the game so much more. So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you. The second takeaway has to do with the overall feeling that I got from watching all of the Path of Exile 2 keynotes and the footage and everybody playing it, all the streamers participating in all of these play sessions. And what I realized was that Path of Exile 2 is really trying to innovate the genre in all sorts of ways. In massive ways, like I think the whole setup, the amount of depth, the graphics, the animations. There was an entire keynote about animations as well. But also in small things, small quality of life things. For example, how you manage weapon swapping. I think weapon swapping was a sort of a genius move. Or how you can allocate certain skill passives to certain weapons and then weapon swap, and then those points get automatically allocated. And it is such a great idea. And there are many of these changes. All of these different changes combined felt that Path of Exile 2 feels like a completely different game. A completely new game, which is probably also part of the reason why they felt they should have an additional client for this. But more so, it made me realize that some of the other ARPGs currently in development, primarily Diablo 4, they're playing it so incredibly safe. Someone commented this in a video not too long ago, and they literally said like, Diablo 4 is just playing it safe, they're not taking any risks. And if you look at Path of Exile 2 and all of the things they're changing, they're basically taking a massive risk. If you look at how Path of Exile currently works and basically everything that was shown, it's night and day. In good things and to some people in bad things as well. Those are completely different games and they do have some similarities at the end of the day, but not as many as people would hope, I think. And they're taking a massive gamble for sure with this whole new game. But I absolutely love them for doing this, because if I look at Diablo 4, which I've probably played right now, I don't know, 70, 100 hours, around that ballpark, right? I am just done. I don't really see any reason to keep playing that, and a large part is that this game is not new in any way almost. It looks good, the combat feels pretty good, and I think the class identity is there, but there's nothing that stands out or that attracts me to play Diablo 4 for longer than, I don't know, a few days in a season. Because now we've had Season 1, the Malignant Hearts, it's like, yeah, fine. This is not real, it's just a gem. Literally, right? The season is basically just a gem. That's it. And Path of Exile used to have seasons like that. Talisman was just an amulet, you could argue. Sure. But that was, like what, 8 years ago? 10 years ago? And Diablo 4 is now. There is basically nothing innovative in Diablo 4. Especially if you consider what's going on with Path of Exile 2. And after ExileCon, I just had this realization like, wow, it doesn't even come close. Right? There's nothing currently that would compare to what Path of Exile 2 will become. And I have full confidence that the devs are gonna make this into an amazing game. It will not be for everyone, which is another reason why they're keeping Path of Exile, the original. But more so it made me realize sort of how still and safe and averse of risk Diablo 4 really is. Which is kind of a shame. But those are just my thoughts on a random Monday afternoon. I really hope the audio was kind of okay, because this is a first time setup and I can't even check if it's okay. I really hope it is. More than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. This is a bit of a new format for me, but I'm literally sitting down at my own bar table talking to the camera with no script whatsoever. I hope you enjoy it and can follow me along a little bit. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts as well, so put them in the comments. Enjoy your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Probably same position, different suit though. See you soon. Bye bye.